Cool, cool, cool. So we are at eTail Connect, and thank you so much for sitting down with me. Richard, I'll get you to introduce yourself.
Thank you. Richard Lim, CEO of Retail Economics.
I feel if you come to an eTail event, you're very well aware of Richard, because you come and give us kind of basically an update on where everything is at that point of the event, right?
Yeah, we try to. We try to keep our finger on the pulse of everything that's happening within the sector.
Yeah.
I do find that we're in a really nice position, kind of having retail clients, but then also working with other providers in the retail sector.
Yeah.
So some of our clients might be TikTok or Barclays or NatWest or Britta. There's like lots of different clients, but all putting together the pieces of the jigsaw to try to figure out what's going on.
I imagine there's a big difference between TikTok and NatWest. So kind of a slight, yeah. But that's the TikTok algorithm. That's another question for another day. That really baffles me.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Yeah. And I have grabbed you just straight off of speaking on stage as well. So how did it go?
Yeah,
Your brain
no, I
must be
think it went
absolutely
well.
like frazzled and straight into this. But
It's well, there's so much going on.
Yes.
We were talking about, in this case, we were talking about the wider macroeconomic environment, the impact of the budget, all of the costs that are coming through, what retailers are doing to try to mitigate against those costs. So yeah,
of course, because it's right now that people will be kind of budgets are all finalised for next year, right?
Yeah, it's so it was the budget announcements this time last year that came into effect in April. And then we've got another budget that's coming at the end of November, so there will be more challenges, more changes, I'm sure.
I feel like there's always something new when it comes to when I come to an eTail event. There's always some new thing that everyone's really kind of upset about. But I think a lot of the we were chatting before recording, but consumer journey, customer journey, I think you could probably speak on that, kind of how that impacts retailers and how much that's on their mind.
I think one of the biggest things at the moment is just that complexity of the customer journey. And it's the fact that retailers have to deal with so many different customers that have such a wide variety of customer journeys. Some of those are really simple and it's all revolved around the store.
Yeah.
But then there are other customers that they deal with selling the same products, but they might bounce onto social media, and then they might go into store, then they might go onto the app and then carry on, then order kind of like 3 pairs of jeans and return the other 2. And it's all of those kinds of
that was going to be my next question actually, is that social commerce, that must just have completely changed the game and how people do that. And because I think everyone has such a different approach, and kind of from a shopper's perspective which ones do it well, so you are kind of more inclined to go there because it's just easier things. They remember what's in my basket, for example. Like
friction is like the biggest, is the biggest factor that inhibits, a seamless customer journey. And the one thing that TikTok in particular has done is it's a platform that is very well suited to product discovery. Short form content, even longer form content, but it's a platform that allows discovery really easily, and then integrating TikTok Shop within that, where you can pretty much buy something within 3 clicks.
So clever.
And get it sent to your home is amazing. And we've just seen this environment where social commerce has exploded. So it's worth £7.5 billion. Today, we expect it to more than double in kind of like next 4 or 5 years. It's worth about 5% of total online sales. Today, that's probably going to grow to 10% within the next 4 or 5 years. So we see enormous potential there.
I mean, even I guess TikTok opens the boundaries for user-generated content as well. I see a lot of how Gen Z shoppers, for example, they see things that other people are wearing, small micro influencers that they follow, and go, well, I want a bit of that then. And it's just, if it's 3 clicks away, that's a no-brainer.
It's exactly. It's a no-brainer. It's a different form of discovery. It's easy to purchase, and it's just where all of the eyeballs are. If you look at just smartphone use in general, then we all spend about 3.5 hours a day on our smartphones on average.
Hopefully that's if it's more than that, I always think, what have I been doing with my day? That's not good.
But on average for younger people it's even higher. And then if you're a social media user, a lot of that time is spent on social media. I
mean, I feel like the way that social media is changing as well, where when it's an ad as well for something, which I guess like people try to be a bit more clever with how they pop up these shopping, but
but some of it's ads, and then also a lot of it is almost like brand ambassadors who are doing unboxing videos or doing reviews. So like my personal experience of this is I went to buy an Uni pizza oven.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the dream. I want one of them. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's on my list.
But after I bought it, I was like, okay, how do I cook the perfect pizza?
So you instantly do. That's where I'd go. I'm going onto TikTok to find a video. Yep.
Then onto TikTok, and you've got literally millions of people that have Uni ovens who are doing these reviews on how to cook the best pizza, and essentially they're kind of unpaid brand ambassadors, kind of reaffirming the value of having a Uni pizza oven.
My partner's just got a coffee grinder, and for the past week, all he's watched on his social media is people doing the filters and kind of like that, and I'm like, surely one of these people must be the expert that you can kind of follow. You don't need to keep scrolling through it.
How to make the perfect coffee.
How to make the perfect. It's all I'm hearing.
It's a never-ending journey.
It really is never-ending, apparently.
Speak from personal experience as well.
I mean, besides that, I guess marketplaces as well. We were chatting about that before as well. That must be kind of changing how those operate as well.
Yeah. Again, it's like another wave of disruption. You've got marketplaces. Marketplaces mean different things.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I feel like that word gets thrown around a lot.
Yes.
For a multitude of different things.
Yeah. I think if you'd ask consumers, think about a marketplace 5 years ago, then most people say, well, eBay, Amazon, and then that would be it. But now you've got eBay and Amazon, but then of course, TikTok's a marketplace, and Vinted is a marketplace, Depop, so you've got the whole pre-loved that's exploded.
Yeah.
But then you've got retailers that are turning their own websites into marketplaces as well. Which is giving consumers a huge range of choice and options, but it's changing. It's changing the business model for many retailers as well.
I guess that's what, from your perspective. I guess because you see so many of the changes, what is the kind of thing that causes the most disruption?
Right now?
Yeah. Right at this moment when we're filming, that's kind of
right now. I would say, and maybe this isn't kind of like a really obvious thing to say, but Gen AI is the thing that I would say is causing the most disruption in the sector right now. So whether that's how businesses are implementing Gen AI into their operations, and the reality is, if you look at the entire retail value chain from supply chains and product design right through to chatbots at the other end, dealing with the customer experience when it comes to whether it's a complaint or a delivery or a return, and everything in between, it's impacting all of those different areas. The challenge for business is how to integrate it efficiently, effectively, where to integrate it, and then for many businesses, they need data in the right way, in the right structure, to be able to even then start thinking about leveraging the benefits of Gen AI.
Absolutely. I guess that leads us perfectly into kind of the next part of that digital transformation, and kind of spoke on data there, but having the kind of good, clean data, that I guess the kind of importance can't be denied there with that.
It's the thing that comes up in conversations that I have with our clients and others in the industry time and time again. It is the importance of data and having it in the right format, being able to connect sales data to customer data to product information data to order management systems to ERP systems. It's having all of those, is having the tech stack in the right architecture to be able to link all of the data together. So I'd say most of the industry is in a position where they need to go on a data transformation journey before they can even start thinking about kind of Gen AI and how to implement it.
It's not just go on to ChatGPT and hope for the best.
No.
You can't just do that.
Unfortunately, it's not that simple from a retail perspective.
No, exactly.
But I would say that it's really interesting to kind of like mention going to ChatGPT, but that's what consumers are doing.
That's what that's what I'm hearing, is that my dad's just realised that he can get a recipe from, if he tells it this is the ingredients I have in my fridge, and that's kind of really revolutionised his way of cooking.
His way of cooking, yeah. But consumers are using ChatGPT a lot. It's been the growth in users has been absolutely phenomenal. ChatGPT is the 6th largest website in the world now.
Wild. Yeah.
It's come from nowhere 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's astonishing growth. But I think while there's lots of Gen AI stuff going on in terms of business functions and implementing it within businesses, I think there's probably a bigger unknown from a retail brand perspective as to how Gen AI is going to affect customers, their customers, how it's going to affect the customer journey, how it's going to change discovery and research and purchase, and how it changes that dynamic between brand and customer as well.
That's actually a good, I guess I had a wedding in the summer to go to, so you can go into, someone asked me, I was trying to find a certain dress that I'd seen kind of a picture of but didn't know the brand, so you go into ChatGPT, someone suggested, just type in, I want this. Are retailers then kind of looking how they can make sure that they're the top option that comes up if they ask, if someone says, I need kind of a dress for a summer wedding, for example, how they then get to the top of that?
How do they get found? No, it's, the discovery part of the journey is, it's going through enormous change, and you're absolutely spot on. Businesses are thinking, how do we get found by AI algorithms? How do we get found by robots as well as humans? The implications of that in terms of SEO strategy, website structure, web page structure, kind of like text files embedded on pages so that ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or other platforms, Perplexity, are able to surface that content that's related to a search that's becoming much more conversational, narrative based.
Oh, it's so interesting. I guess for brands here as well, we kind of meet a lot of kind of high-end brands while we're at eTail. Have you got any kind of tips, I guess, for kind of those that are kind of maybe feel they're behind on their digital transformation, data transformation journey?
I think the common thing that I see businesses doing is just kind of start the journey. Just start the journey with small experiments and just see how they can be rolled out over kind of wider projects. I think that most businesses are still at that stage where they're unsure of where to focus their efforts. And the first stage is just looking at the business, looking at automation, looking at potential low-hanging fruit, and thinking about where the small experiments could be placed that's going to have the biggest impact, how we can learn from that, and trying that alongside some of the more fundamental changes to potentially like the tech stack, simultaneously to doing some of the smaller trial experiments.
Absolutely. I guess on the kind of other side of things, because you kind of meet with so many brands, kind of chat to where they are, is there been any kind of brands recently that have something kind of technology-wise that you've kind of thought, oh, that's really exciting, for that could kind of really kind of make an impact on the industry?
I mean, it depends the retailer, what they're selling, who their customers are, whether it's relevant. But there's just so much out there that's really exciting. I think some of the so there's a business called Symphony AI. And Symphony AI is doing some really interesting stuff when it comes to data analytics, camera analytics. So they've got kind of like cameras that are on shelves that are looking at planograms, that are looking at inventory and making sure planograms are adhered to, but also linking that into inventory, linking that into kind of like category insights and things like that. So that's cool. That's like one example. And you've got that, you've got personalization, you've got so many different, you've got search. You already mentioned search.
I was hearing someone today when I was chatting that they've kind of, how they do their changing rooms online as well, kind of having the camera, you can basically try it on at home, and that kind of really makes me slightly nervous about kind of the shopping. I don't know, something I'll get to it eventually, but I was like,
it's this kind of like a AR at home, like augmented reality at home.
I guess that's like, do you hear a lot about kind of how people are blending that kind of in-store and online experience? I guess that's kind of always been a big thing, but I think I'm definitely seeing it in recent years now when you're kind of going to if you're in London, going to Battersea Power Station, there seems to be a lot of kind of ways that they're trying to kind of blend in-store and online.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, it's over the last few years, it's been how do businesses really try to embrace omnichannel?
Yeah.
How can they help their customers bounce between physical and digital channels on different devices across different stages of the journey, go onto social, go into store, open their app, go onto their mobile optimized website.
So much you can do.
Yeah, but stitching all of that together to try to make it a cohesive experience and frictionless experience. And the kind of in-store environment plays a really critical role in that.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to link up that kind of digital element to it.
Yeah, I guess you want to be able to kind of just like, it's got to be ease but not hindrance. I guess you don't want to kind of get somewhere, have to like sign up to a certain app that you'll only use once, and then that's when people get annoyed.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good example. And some of this is the basics, like getting the network right, in-store networks, getting the plumbing behind connectivity,
Connecting all the dots at the start.
Yeah, that's it. But but some retailers are operating in shops that are listed buildings. That some of them are kind of like basement level, and simple things like just getting the Wi-Fi to work and allowing customers to use their.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many bad
It's,
shops you go into, and it's just like, why is the Wi-Fi? Why can I not get Wi-Fi in Zara? I just want to kind of
Yeah, and it's completely, it's absolutely the norm for consumers to get out their mobile phones, search for other things, do price comparison, look at competitors, but also look at extended ranges of the retailer that you're in as well. So, having that connectivity in store is super important as well.
Exactly. I guess with that in mind, how is from a Gen Z perspective, is that kind of impacting shopping a lot? Or how they kind of do go about their kind of shopping? Is that kind of throwing another kind of curveball in there when it comes to all that stuff we've chatted about before? Or is it just kind of offering a new problem?
Yeah, so what I'd say about Gen Z is I think there's a bit of a misconception that they just shop online,
We're
or
not
they
difficult.
just shop on their mobiles, or they're only on on social media platforms or something like that.
We don't live on our phones.
But what we have seen is that it's just that the Gen Z customer journey is probably just more complicated. And while they like shopping in store, they like shopping more in store than millennials. So they want to have that physical environment, that physical experience, but it's just more experiential. They want to go to like a flagship destination.
We love a potter around. So. We make that's a whole that's a whole Sunday afternoon. You grab a coffee, you just potter around for no reason. That's what you want.
Yeah, but you mentioned that, like having coffee. So it's going to a destination that's not just necessarily retail. It's hospitality, it's leisure, it's everything combined in that kind of overall physical environment, but still having kind of digital technology underpin the physical experience as well.
How many? I was going to ask as well, Richard. How many e-tails have you been to this year? Quite a few, I imagine.
I think this is my third or fourth.
Okay, that's
maybe?
pretty good going then.
Third.
Might be more e-tails than I've been to.
Third e-tail.
You did retail IT.
I did
retail
the IT one. I did the one in February as well.
All of them. I won't ask you which is your favourite because that would be mean.
But what I would say though is that I do love coming to these events.
Good.
You have a great selection of like different speakers talking about different subjects. So I get so much from learning from other people in the industry, and it's just a great networking opportunity.
I'm glad. Any more for the end of the year, or is this you kind of e-tailed out by?
I think this is the last one this year.
Nice.
I think. But I've already been asked to kind of come back in February again.
We'll be there in e-tail spring, so we can have another chat about how things are going when we go. But any kind of like final takeaways, I guess, kind of any tips for that last bit of the year, essentially.
I think there's just so much going on. I think that's the main thing. Well. So much going on, and all of this is against a backdrop of probably a tougher economic environment as well. So GDP at 1% growth, retail sales volumes bobbling around 1%. Consumer confidence is quite soft. We've got a budget at the end of November, which
Yeah.
is exactly the wrong time for the retail sector. You know,
Brilliant.
so those kind of anxieties for consumers thinking about what's going to be announced in the budget, and then in the golden quarter is not helpful in the slightest. But it's kind of like mixing that kind of tougher consumer environment, what it means for your business, how you're going to lead with a value proposition in many cases, but doing all of that while just continuing that digital investment and keeping digital as the backbone as well.
Fabulous. Well, we can check in on it in spring then and see how things have changed since then.
Brilliant.
But thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you
Perfect.
very much.
Lovely stuff.